forward. It's much different, it's very interesting, and so I hope you will take notes on this. And you should all have with you a yellow card. The yellow card, it's in your packet of materials, I'm guessing. Keep that with you today, because the yellow card is where we'd like for you to make notes about your brainstorm, your ideas, your suggestions for how we advance economic development in Evanston. You don't need to fill it out now. Give it some time. Bring your best thinking to it. But please keep that in mind as you go through the morning. We're going to try to move through the morning with some dispatch and some urgencies, so don't leave the building. Please participate in everything that is to come. Next is our economic development plan. Thanks.
Before I actually get into the details of the plan, I just wanted to highlight the commercial areas in Evanston. And hopefully everyone's been around most of the city, but it's pretty impressive. We've got a lot of commercial areas. They're very diverse and they're very unique, and that's why we've got a great team that's really working to try to make sure that we're doing economic development citywide that's really conscientious about each of the particular districts and their characteristics. In January 2010, the City Council adopted a vision statement. Some of the keys in the vision statement talked about entrepreneurial culture, retaining and expanding existing businesses, attracting new businesses. But the end result was there was two primary big goals. It's job creation and increasing taxes and revenues. Along with this vision statement, there was this overarching strategy: business retention and expansion, business attraction, area and commercial revitalization and redevelopment, and marketing. All of these factors override our economic development day-to-day activities. We're always looking for keeping our businesses here, helping them expand, and attracting new businesses that complement the ones that we have. When we were working on this 2012-2014, it's essentially a 2-year economic development plan, and what we really wanted to do is look at what were the strengths of Evanston, the quality of life, the diverse population, the quality schools, the university. We've got so many things to really build on: cultural and performing arts, healthcare institutions, access to public transportation. Both the Metro and the CTA are just such big assets for us. Lake Michigan waterfront is, again, such a big asset for us. And we've got this strong, growing entrepreneurial and innovative business community that we really wanted to take advantage of. A couple of the overarching principles within the adopted plan are things, again, that were pulled from the vision statement, trying to emphasize innovation, nurturing our entrepreneurship, looking at creating jobs, but also to get the training, workforce training, aligned with the types of jobs that we're trying to help create so that Evanston residents have the opportunity to get those jobs. And of course, promoting Evanston. We really want to try to get the word out that we are open for business, that we are welcoming businesses, and that we want to help these businesses grow and expand and stay in Evanston. Before I get into more of the details of the plan, I just wanted to reinforce that even though the plan talks about 5 targeted industries, we wanted to make sure that we are not forgetting about these traditional growth sectors, because these are so important to keeping a balanced economy in Evanston. Retail throughout the city. Remember the commercial district map. We got to look at how we best fill those spaces and how we complement what those commercial areas need and help them survive. Our office and professional services, we've got a lot of workers throughout the city, and we want to make sure that we encourage more office and professional services within the city. And what we like to call our applied skills industries. We've got some really unique pockets of manufacturing and production and construction and trade groups that, again, this just complements a more balanced economy, and we really want to make sure that we're supporting these industries. So within the plan, we actually have 5 targeted industries that we really want to focus on, do a little bit more focus on. One of them is technology-based businesses. As I mentioned before, we have this strong entrepreneurial base that's already been growing. We got the Technology Innovation Center that's been around for years, but we've also got these other kind of co-working spaces popping up, co-lab and creative co-working. And, you know, given the way the economy is right now, a lot of people are having troubles finding traditional jobs. So what they're doing instead is saying, these are my skills, these are my strengths, I want to start my own business and find a niche in the community. So we've got a lot of people out there looking to create new businesses, and it's one of the things that we want to foster. We want to foster the startups, but we also want to make sure that as they're expanding and growing, that we can try to keep them in Evanston. Healthcare and wellness. We've got 2 level trauma 1 hospitals in the city, and we really want to take advantage of that. We also have a population that's really conscientious about wellness. So we really want to make sure that we're looking at ways that we can complement and support our 2 existing hospitals, as well as emphasize wellness programs, wellness businesses, and kind of merge all of these things together. Baby boomer markets. As of January 1st, 2011, baby boomers made up 26% of the population. Evanston has historically been very attractive to what we call baby boomers. Other terms are active retirees, empty nesters, those types of things. And a lot of it is the same amenities that we talked about up front. The nationally recognized university, the strong healthcare systems, the active downtown, the cultural and arts opportunities, access to public transportation. So recognizing that we do have this, that Evanston is attractive to this type of population, we want to explore more opportunities to look at, how we get businesses to think about and business areas to be more age-friendly in terms of accessibility, but also to run a full spectrum of age groups. Arts and entertainment. This one is in our mind, it's such an important part of Evanston, of what Evanston is. There's such a strong theater presence and arts culture, and it just is a natural piece of our economic development strategy. And what we really want to do is figure out a better way to connect our economic development objectives with the strong arts and culture and entertainment venues and opportunities that are out there. And it ends up being a win-win, hopefully, for both of us. This is kind of our wild card, water industries. One of our greatest assets is the access to the water. In addition to that, water is one of our biggest, sale of water is one of our biggest revenue generators. So as we're looking at attracting new businesses, not only in Evanston, but if we look at this kind of regionally and think about business or communities that buy water from Evanston, we get a piece of that pie too, because of the amount of money that we make on that. So what we want to do is really think about industries that use water smartly and environmentally soundly, but also, again, this is one of our opportunities to generate some additional revenues. Our next steps in this economic development planning process is to actually, we've got a plan in place. Now we want to get into the nuts and bolts of what are the real short-term opportunities, priorities, goals, things that we can do maybe in the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. Look for strategies and specific tasks that we can do to try to move forward these goals towards implementation, and develop a more defined work program for us to really set out and be active and aggressive on this implementation. One of the caveats to this is the staff and Economic Development Committee and City Council know that it's really important that we continually evaluate how the progress is going and look at, are we making progress on some of these targeted industries? Do we need to rethink our angles? Look at the change in the market. Market conditions are changing all the time, so we really need to be conscientious about that as we're moving forward with our strategies and our tasks. So we want to make sure that we're regularly reassessing things, and then we want to commit to a 2-year update on this plan, comprehensive update, so that we're making sure that we're staying on top of things and trying to be much more proactive than reactive. The mayor mentioned the economic development team, and these are the full-time staff people. And in addition, we have a full-time intern right now, Eric Santiago, who you may have met on the way in. These are your lead point of contact. So if you are a business owner, if you're looking to expand, if you need some help staying here in Evanston, if you know of anyone that wants to move their business to Evanston, let us know. We've got a team in place. We are kind of the front line, the facilitators. We want to help businesses stay here, expand, and attract the new businesses that are going to complement our existing businesses. With that, I want to turn it back over to Alderman Grover.
Thank you, Nancy. So as I said before, you're the experts in the room here. We need your ideas, we need your input on where we go with our economic development plan. I think you can probably peg yourself in one of our targeted industries or one of our growth sectors, but I'd like you to think more broadly beyond your individual sector industry, because you know Evanston and you know the business landscape in Evanston. So give us what you got. We will be today, we planned 2 breakout discussion sessions. So we'll be focusing first on those targeted industries in our economic development plan. I think you'll find they're really interesting. We'll have somebody in each one of those rooms to facilitate the discussion. We'll be taking notes, and we're hoping that this produces some great ideas. The second, we'll be focusing on these 5 traditional growth sectors. Same thing. You'll be moving from one discussion session to the next. There'll be a break in between, but as I said before, please don't leave the building. Hang with us for the whole morning. You won't return to the council chambers until after the second session. We'll reconvene here at 10:30, and then we'll have kind of a larger roundtable discussion about the things that you've learned and the things that we produced in those 2 breakout sessions. So, again, we're back here at 10:30. Nancy, you're going to go through that.
I'm going to run through this very quickly. What we want to do in these breakout sessions is really try to get everyone to weigh in, give your ideas, give your thoughts about, what are the biggest challenges, what are the biggest issues, but what are the biggest opportunities for these particular breakout session topics. We want you to, as a group, come up with what you think are the top goals and opportunities within those industry sectors, and think about realistically what can be done in the next 6 to 12 months. What are the specific tasks or strategies or outcomes that we need to do together to try to get some of these things moved forward, these top goals, these top opportunities? What sort of information, data, statistics do we need to help, again, move these things forward? And do you know someone that might have this information, or do you have this information yourself? And I guess, the bottom line is, we, the city, can't do it all ourselves, but, we're looking for you guys to help us out, because we think this is really, really important for everyone to be involved in the growth and sustainability of our economic development. So, we want to figure out what are the best ways that we all can work together to accomplish these goals and opportunities. As Alderman Grover referenced, everyone's going to come back here, and the expectation is that one person from each of the group is going to act as the team leader and come back and report out on behalf of the group. Go through the top goals and opportunities, talk about some of the specific tasks that you've outlined that you think need to be done to achieve those goals, and think about key people, businesses, organizations that can help with these things. And I think we're actually right on schedule. So we've got these 2 breakout sessions. If you are interested in the technology-based and enabled businesses, startups, etc., you are going to stay in this room, and you are going to be here with Paul Zamazak. If Paul is in the room, can he raise his hand? All right, I think Paul's actually out on the table. Healthcare and Wellness Group is going to be led by Johanna Neiden. I think she's also actually out in the other room. And you're going to be in room 2402. All of the breakout rooms are actually down the hall and around the corner. Arts, entertainment venues, you're going to be with me down in 2200. Our room is the furthest one down. Baby Boomer Markets are going to be with Steve Griffin. Is Steve in the room? Great. You're going to follow Steve to 2404. And then water-related industries is going to be led by Joe McRae. And if he's in the room, Joe's right outside the door. You can follow Joe to 2403. And then we'll have the second sessions. Everyone will be able to talk to your team leaders about the next session that you want to go to and where to go. There's also signs on the doors. And we expect to reconvene in maybe about an hour, a little over an hour. So thank you all again for coming. I'm sorry, questions?
Are there flip charts and markers in each room?
There are flip charts, there's markers, there's pens, there's index cards, there's maps, there's all sorts of tools for us. So hopefully we've got everything in there that we need to facilitate the discussions.
And I would encourage people to assign a note taker as well as
Exactly what we're going to do. Great.
card to know if you're going to do that.
Yep. Great. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Here.